Lawmakers in the Republic of Georgia have approved legislation to begin a sweeping crackdown on LGBTQIA people and organizations. The so-called Family Values and the Protection of Minors law, approved Tuesday, will outlaw pride events, LGBTQ+ gatherings, and even displays of rainbow flags. Tamarja Kelly is director of Tbilisi Pride in Georgia's capital.
Our main aim was always to be very outspoken and loud on LGBTQ issues. Every year we used to hold a Pride Week. We tried to hold Pride marches. We held successfully Pride festivals, conferences and film screenings. And now we are already at the risk that we cannot hold any events really. And this law will make it legally impossible, not just physically and politically impossible, but also legally.
Back in the United States, Republican senators have once again blocked legislation that would protect access to in vitro fertilization and require health insurers to cover the fertility treatment. The Right to IVF Act was sponsored by Illinois Democratic Senator Tammy Duckworth, who personally struggled to become pregnant before turning to IVF to conceive her children.
Now, that freedom to get reproductive care is at risk for millions of other women whose most desperate hope in the world is to have a little one of their own. Make no mistake, that isn't some future nightmare. This is our present reality.
In more reproductive rights news, ProPublica reports at least 2 women in Georgia died after they could not access legal abortions and timely Medicare in their state. Amber Thurman suffered a fatal infection after doctors refused to treat a rare complication from a medication abortion. And Candy Miller died from medication abortion complications after her family said she didn't visit a doctor, quote, due to the current legislation on pregnancies and abortions. We'll have more on this story later in the broadcast. In Texas, hundreds of homes remain under evacuation orders in the Houston suburb of Deer Park, more than 2 days after an SUV struck a pipeline valve station, triggering a massive explosion that rattled homes and businesses, sending a column of fire and smoke into the sky that was visible more than 10 miles away. The pipeline containing natural gas liquids burned for a second straight day and into the night Tuesday. Here in New York, music mogul Sean Diddy Combs was denied bail and will remain in jail until his trial after pleading not guilty Tuesday to racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and other charges. Prosecutors accused Combs of repeatedly assaulting several women, drugging and coercing women and men to perform sexual acts, and being part of a criminal organization that engaged in sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and other crimes since at least 2008. He'll appear in court again today. In Atlanta, prosecutors on Tuesday dropped all money laundering charges against 3 activists who were accused of misusing a bail fund to support protests against Cop City, a multi-million-dollar police training complex. It will be the largest in the country. Atlanta Solidarity Fund organizers Marlon Kautz, Adele McClain, and Savannah Patterson are still facing racketeering charges as part of a sweeping RICO case that includes at least 58 other Stop Cop City activists indicted last year. Advocates celebrated the victory, writing in a statement, quote, "From the beginning, we knew these charges were not based on any evidence, but were instead politically motivated and intended to target a social movement," they said.